Hi guys, welcome back to another video. I know it's been a while. I've kind of been going through art block recently and just haven't had enough time for art, but I figured what better way than to start off another video with the sketchbook tour. I did film this video before and the quality of the camera was not good at all, so I feel I need to redo it. So starting off with the stickers, obviously this is a Yeti one. I don't remember some Armory type sticker. I remember getting this one from CVS and these two from Static Wool's Redbubble Shop. I love Static Wool, so I cannot recommend her enough. And this is sketchbook number 5. Okay, so I kind of wish I didn't draw on this first page because as you can tell, it doesn't really lay flat, but I did anyways just because I feel like filling all the pages. And I started this in September of 2024 and I finished it in June of 2025. This is honestly the fastest I've filled a sketchbook, and I think I filled it so quickly because I just felt like doing art, because I go through phases where I want to and where I don't want to. And during this sketchbook, I really felt like doing art and I think I improved the most. So here's a little self-portrait of me. I drew this while I was on the cruise, and of course there's bleed through from the other side. I wish I would have thought about that before I drew it on this page, but it's fine. So I do have a video on my YouTube channel about this drawing. We went to, I think, 2 cruises this year, so I have 2 spreads that look like this. And this is just the order in which we went to all the ports. So if you want more details on that, go check out that video. And I also drew these while I was on the boat. The way I did this was I saved a whole bunch of references I thought I was going to want to draw. And so I had options to choose from when I was on the ship and didn't have internet. And then I just chose those out of those options. I really liked this dog when I first drew it. And now, looking at it, I don't think I like it as much as some of the other ones that I had. This one I never finished because it just looked really bad. This is one of the ones that I really did enjoy doing. I did it in monochrome colored pencil, and I think it turned out really well. And here's some just random doodles. I draw dogs a lot. And then there's a lava lamp. I wanted to try my hand at drawing our poodle again, so I drew that. This was another video of a redraw in another sketchbook that I do have on my YouTube channel. And this picture is probably one of my favorites in this sketchbook. I drew it for Valentine's Day and I just think it looks really cute. And I do enjoy this too. You'll notice a lot in this sketchbook, I draw a lot of fruit and stuff and write the name of the fruit underneath it, because I think I was starting to get into realism when I was in this sketchbook. This is Nightwing. I tried a style that was very out of my comfort zone, and I actually ended up liking it a lot. When I tried this style again for Red Hood, I didn't like it as much, but this one turned out really good. This is a cover-up. As you can tell, the page is different than the normal page. It's a little wider. But I love Rainstorm. Obviously, they should definitely sponsor me because I drink so much of them. But I decided to draw out their flavors, all the old flavors, and I'm thinking about drawing the new ones as well. But I glued this paper in because I really did not like the picture underneath, so I just did a cover-up. And here's Red Hood. It didn't turn out as well as I liked, but it didn't turn out awful. I think I have a video on this too. Another drawing I did, I think this was for Inktober. Lots of bleed through. I love this drawing of this Red Bull. I think it turned out great. And I wish I didn't color the background in because I feel like it takes away from the can. And here's some more bleed through. This sketchbook is not really good for alcohol markers, but I still use them. I just made sure to try not to draw on the other side. Here's another cruise that we went on in 2024, and I do have a video for this one as well, so if you want the story time on that and the process video, you can go check that out. I drew this on the cruise as well. So how I do it for the cruise is I pack very minimal art supplies, like a pencil, or like different colored pencils, erasers, and sharpeners. I don't bring any of my markers or anything like that. So I sketched it out on the ship, and then when I got back home is when I started to color it all in and do that. But I think this is one of the first drawings of 2025. I love this. This turned out really well, even though there is bleed through from the other side. I don't know. Simple ink just works sometimes. This is when I got my Woomer colored pencils, and I decided to do a skull, but in not skull colors, so I used lots of pinks and purples. And this was a DIYs that I felt matched really well with the skull, so I colored that. I did have a video on this Deadpool drawing. I originally had Jinx in the background, but I didn't like how she was turning out, so I just started drawing Deadpool instead. I like this page. It's very simple. I colored in the background with colored pencil, and I realize now why I don't do that very often, because it took forever, but I think it looks good. Here's when I started to use more of my RTX acrylic markers in this sketchbook and tried to get more comfortable with them. Sketching practice that I never finished. This is my OC Zariah. I never finished these. I'm thinking about changing her hair because I'm not very good at drawing braids. So I don't know why I chose an OC with braids, but there she is. And then there's some lemons that I did with RTX markers, and then the details in the colored pencil. This is where I started to really get into portraits, and I think is where I started to kind of understand anatomy. But I love this girl's face. The eyes obviously are more cartoonish style, but I think it turned out really good, and I love the purple, pink, and orange. And then here's some more realism. I did a ring pop, and I did all this with my colored pencils, and then did the background and the acrylic markers. Here's another portrait, but this time monochrome, and I did use my Woomer colored pencils on this, and I think it turned out great. I did try a monochrome colored pencil portrait again, and I don't think it turned out as good as this one, but I also really love the stars in her hair. And I think I'm starting to find my style a little bit more through each portrait. Here's some hands. I know it's been a while in this sketchbook because I normally draw hands like every other page, so I'm surprised I just now did that because I love, love, love drawing hands. And then here is acrylic markers with some black fine liner over it. I saw a lot of people using their acrylic markers to draw food, and I attempted it, and I don't think it turned out that well. This one is alcohol markers because I love Dobermans. A plant that I thought looked really pretty, and I knew it'd be really fun to try to blend the alcohol markers with the pink and the green. More portrait practices. I didn't really like them. This one's okay, but I really don't like that one. That hand looks good, but it's a sketchbook. I'm going to have pages I'm not super happy with. This is a portrait that I wasn't super happy with. It just looks kind of weird. I think her nose looks off. It's either too small or something. But I really do like these birds that I drew in this hand. I think they're adorable. And here is a monochrome picture that I did. It's kind of at a weird angle, the photo was. But I'm happy with how it turned out. I think it turned out really good. I love this portrait, and I hate this one. This one's so creepy. And then this was for Static Wool's emoji challenge. I did that, and I don't remember if I did a video on this one or not, but that's what that was for. More acrylic marker, avocados, mainly just covering up the bleed through from the other side. And this was so much fun to draw. I always see artists drawing these fun ice cream cones, and so I wanted to try it, and I just think it turned out really good. I do have a video on this, the cutout and the drawing of this. I just felt like it was so plain without this on there, so I sketched out the outline on some construction paper, and I did pointillism around the outside, and let me tell you, that took forever. So artists that normally do pointillism You're dedicated, because I could not do that again. But I like how she turned out. This is another video. As you can tell, each page was a video. So normally when that happens, it just means that I'm going through some sort of an art block and don't really feel like drawing, because normally I draw in between videos. But this is where I took a Pinterest person and I drew them because I was trying to create likeness. Left that page kind of blank because of a little bit of bleed through, but these are acrylic markers. I actually love how this turned out, and I think this is where you can tell that I'm getting more comfortable with them, because I'm using like crazy shadow colors and things like that. I never finished this side because I just wasn't having fun with the drawing. There wasn't enough color for me. So I moved on to this one, and this one was a lot of fun. Again, it's acrylic markers, but I tried to step out of my comfort zone with colors by using like this blue, purple, green, and I think it turned out really well. Sketching that I didn't finish. This page is okay. I like how the colors match, but that's about it. I'm not a huge fan of the person. Cover up, bleed through. I was getting into drawing more birds. I never finished that one, but I did sketch it out because I knew I would like the sketch better, because I like this sketch better, so I just left it. More sketching, just trying to get some practice in. Here is acrylic marker, but it was an onion that was overgrown in our kitchen, so I took a picture of that and I drew it because I thought it looked really cool and I like the colors. More portraits. I think I drew this at my grandparents' house. I do like the way that turned out. And I love this pop of color. More realism practice, of course. I like all the colors in this LaCroix. This hand is pretty cool. I hate the swirls around it, but I was trying to fill up space and I should have found a different way to do it. Bleed through. This, I didn't do a video on actually drawing and designing this, but it was for Static Wool's challenge that she did. She had us redraw her OCs. So I was trying to make a patch for her band, and this is what I came up with before I drew it smaller. As you can tell, I'm obsessed with Static Wool. I always try to do all of her challenges, so that's my take on that. Sometimes you just have to put color down in your sketchbook, and that's what I did here, and I tried to fill it in with stars and stuff. You know, I was going through art blocks, so I was just trying to do something. I love, love, love this page. I love how the video turned out on my YouTube channel for this. I just used graphite because I wanted to go back to basics to see if that what was causing my art block. And I just think these turned out really well. So I drew this first, and I drew a face down here, but I didn't end up liking it, so I erased it and then drew these hands. And then this goose. This hand kind of looks weird, but that's okay. Strawberries. This calf is so, so, so cute. I love it. And then I just filled all the space. This was actually a video on my YouTube channel as well of creating bad art just to get stuff down. So I was not happy with any of these. I think this one was one that I was semi-okay with, but all these other ones just did not turn out well. And I was trying to sketch in blue pen, so of course you can't erase. Like, his eyes are too far apart and it just wasn't turning out. But I wanted to show YouTube that I don't always create just the best things, and it's okay to make bad art, so that's what I did. But then after that, I created these two masterpieces. These are, I think this is one of my favorite pages in my sketchbook, just because it turned out so well, and I just think they turned out really adorable. I did post these on my Redbubble shop, so if you're interested, there is a link in the description if you wanted to get those. These tomatoes were a little off, but I drew them. I drew tomatoes in my last sketchbook and I really liked them, so I wanted to do it again. And then this is a salmon. I just liked all the colors and I figured the red would look good with the red. So back to acrylic markers, because I needed to cover up all this bleed through from my alcohol marker, so I drew some kiwis. This was done with all acrylic markers and no line art, like no black line art, so I think it turned out pretty well. Another portrait where I kind of added my fun spin to it and drew lines in her hair. The hand's kind of off, but that's okay. It's just practice. Acrylic marker. Okay, I know I say this a lot, but this is also one of my favorite spreads because I was trying to do realism. And so first off, I did realism with my acrylic markers and I drew this shake and I think it looks so good. Love how it turned out, surprisingly for once, because I normally don't like how they turn out with just acrylic marker and liner. And then this one was alcohol marker. Of course, it was more realistic. I drew, this one took me a while to draw. I think I was actually watching White Chicks while I drew this. Acrylic marker portrait, and then silly goose picture. I don't know. I was just feeling like putting down blocky colors, and I thought it was funny. Honk for Jesus. I don't really like how this turned out, but it was a while before I did this, and then it was a while before I finished this because I think I did this at the beginning of the month and this at the end, so I was kind of out of practice. But I taped this picture in there because I wanted to cover up bleed through. And then of course, because I didn't feel great with that, I decided to draw a hand because you can never go wrong with those, and it turned out really good. Papaya, I'm not a huge fan of. I actually like how this turned out. Besides the hand proportions, like they are way off, but I think the helmet and the colors looked really good. We're starting to get to the end of this sketchbook, and I drew another shake because the other one went so well. This one's a little bit wonky, but I think it still looks good. And then I drew this plant. It's actually a lot of fun. Lots of colored pencil details on this one. Then my very last page, I decided to draw this fun little tiger with a blue spot in the background because I felt like it was too plain, but this was a lot of fun to draw. And I keep forgetting how much fun it is to go in with all my fine liners and just use different weights of lines and make it look cartoony. What is in here? So I liked this pineapple tag from one of the clothings that I had, and these are the Ahuhu markers that I used on the rainstorm picture that I did. And here's the swatches of the one that I did for the second cruise that we did with the stingray and the fish. I do have some of my carnival cards in here because that's the ship we went on. And then of course I did save the tag for this sketchbook. So if you're wondering, this is the one I got. Overall, I don't recommend it if you want to do a lot of alcohol marker art, just because it does bleed through really bad to the next page. But again, this sketchbook, I filled it so quickly, and I actually had so much fun drawing in it because it was fairly inexpensive that I found myself reaching for it a little bit more. So if you do have a problem with that, I would recommend this sketchbook because sometimes I can buy a little bit more of an expensive one and then not pick it up for weeks, which I think is what is happening now. But let me grab my other sketchbook to show you which one I'm working on now. Sketchbook number 6. So this is my Ahuhu sketchbook that I started working on. I know I haven't filmed a first page, like a draw the first page, because I haven't drawn the first page yet. I've just skipped that and been sketching the rest of them. These are all my stickers that I got from Redbubble. This one is actually from my shop. And then Calcifer, The Office, you know, fun stuff. It's sketchbook number 6, and this is a Ahuhu marker pad, so I will be doing a review on it. I don't know that I really like the size. It seems a little bit too small for me, but I think I did have a video going through this here. This is the first page that I refused to draw on yet, and then here's this one, just a very quick sketchbook tour. I did watch K-pop Demon Hunters and I felt like drawing that, so, but yeah. I have also been working in another mixed media sketchbook because I was so kindly given this by Illo Sketchbook, and I did do a giveaway video on that. But I wanted to start in the Illo, or not the Illo, the Ahuhu sketchbook first and then move to this one, but I may just be using them back and forth. So there's that. Here I put one of my stickers from my shop. And of course I left the first page blank as well on this one. And I did show a video of me drawing Static Wool's band characters, and this is kind of like my rough draft for that. But that's really all I've drawn in this so far. But I can't wait to continue in it. I really like this paper compared to this one, because I feel like the Ahoo sketchbook is very smooth paper. It's not very textured, and it does great for alcohol markers, but I tend to like more textured on my colored pencil art. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the next one.